Okay, so where do you think world-changing ideas really come from? Seriously, think about it. Today, we're diving into this really powerful, kind of counterintuitive idea, the incredible influence of the nobody. Yeah, you heard that right. We're telling the story of the quiet folks in the background, the overlooked visionaries, the people whose courage and wisdom literally shape our world, even when history forgets to write down their names. And to kick us off, we've got this amazing piece of wisdom from our guide for this whole thing, a narrator named Zoran the Dragon. Wow, that just sets the perfect tone, right? We're about to uncover a truth that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So, the big question is, why do we miss these quiet flames so often? Well, it kind of comes down to one central problem. Our world is absolutely obsessed with noise. We're just, we're conditioned to believe that for something to matter, it has to be loud, right? It needs fame, it needs likes, it needs that big public recognition. But what if all that noise is just one giant distraction? Just think about it. On one hand, you've got all that noise, right? The flashy headlines, the roaring applause, the fame that lasts for, 15 minutes? It's loud, for sure. It screams for our attention. But it's so fleeting. But then, on the other hand, you've got true power. And that stuff, it usually moves in silence. It's like the deep ocean currents that guide a massive ship, or the invisible foundations holding up a skyscraper. You don't see them, but without them, everything comes crashing down. And this idea is captured so perfectly in this quote. Man, that hits hard, doesn't it? It's a total challenge to how we usually define success today. It's a reminder that real impact, it's not about how many followers you have, it's about the depth of the change you actually create. So, yeah, this is way more than just a clever saying. It's the bedrock of this whole philosophy of silence. And now we're going to dig into this concept of the unseen spark. This is the idea that real, lasting change, the kind that echoes through generations, almost always starts in these quiet, unnoticed little corners of the world, far, far away from any spotlight. And that brings us right to the heart of our story, the nobody. Now, we've got to be super clear about this. This is not an insult, not at all. A nobody isn't someone who's worthless. No way. They are simply someone whose incredible value the world just forgot to notice. It's actually a position of hidden immense strength. So what does a true nobody actually look like? Well, first off, get the image of crowns and thrones out of your head. Instead, picture someone moving just beneath the surface, quietly laying the real foundations of history. They're the ones with that spark of genius who would much rather be in the workshop than on a stage. For them, it's all about the impact. The applause? That's just noise. Okay, but look, this isn't just some nice philosophy, right? This is historical reality. So let's move from theory to proof. Let's talk about some of history's hidden heroes, these forgotten flames whose impact was absolutely massive, even if most of us don't know their names. And first up, let's talk about a man named Bayard Rustin. Now, you might not recognize the name, but trust me, you absolutely know his impact. So get this, Bayard Rustin was the chief organizer of the 1963 March on Washington. Just try to wrap your head around the scale of that. Every single logistic, every speaker, every little detail of that day that changed the world, that was him. He planned it all. And yet his absolutely crucial role so often gets left behind the curtain of history. He is the perfect example of a nobody who laid the foundation for an entire movement. All right, next up, we're heading to Montgomery, Alabama, because I want to tell you about a teenager whose one single act of incredible courage sparked a fire that would literally change the course of a nation. Her name was Claudette Colvin, and at just 15 years old, she refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus. Now here's the kicker. This was a full 9 months before Rosa Parks' more famous act. Claudette's bravery became a cornerstone in the legal case that eventually desegregated the buses. She helped pave the legal path for the whole movement. Can you believe that? A single quiet spark from a teenager that helped ignite a revolution? And hey, this isn't just some modern thing either. Let's jump in a time machine and go all the way back to ancient Egypt. Let's talk about Hatshepsut. She was one of the most powerful and, honestly, most successful pharaohs in all of Egyptian history. Her reign was a total golden age. We're talking prosperity, incredible architecture, the whole shebang. But because she was a woman, after she died, they systematically tried to erase her from the records. But here's the beautiful thing about true impact. You can't just chisel it away.
Her legacy is still there, literally written in the stones of the temples she built and the economy she transformed.
So these big historical examples are amazing, right? But this isn't just about the past. Not at all. Let's bring this right back home to you. I want you to take a second and really think about this question. Who is the structural integrity of your world? Maybe it's your grandmother or a parent, a mentor, that one teacher you never forgot. You know, the person who raised a family, told you stories, got through tough times, the one who kept that little flame of hope alive for you without ever once asking for a headline or a thank you. They are the living foundation that your world is built on. Okay, so what do we do with all this? How do we take this idea and actually use it? Well, this is where we turn reflection into action. Our guide, Zoran the Dragon, gives us this cool framework. He calls it the Dragon Trial. And it's basically a guide for how to both find the flame and how to be the flame. It's a 4-step challenge. You ready? Step 1, name a nobody. Think of someone not famous at all who changed your life, and take a moment to really honor what they did. Step 2, draw their flame. What was behind their action? Was it kindness, courage, persistence? Analyze that core quality. Step 3 is my favorite. Be a nobody. Go do something profoundly kind or brave today. And don't tell a soul. No posts, no seeking credit, just do it. And finally, step 4, share the spark. Tell someone else the story of one of these forgotten heroes. Help their flame rise again. All right, as we start to wrap this up, let's go back one last time to Zoran for the final word. This is the idea that's meant to stick with you, the one that ties this whole thing together. There's this line from a poem of his called The Nobody's Flame, and it's just so powerful. It's saying this quiet strength, this unseen courage, it's not just a nice story from the past. It's exactly what the world needs most when things get tough. It's a real, genuine source of hope. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. The world's attention, it comes and goes. Fame is temporary. But your impact, your actions, your kindness, your courage, all of that gets woven into a story that never, ever gets lost. So yeah, maybe the world doesn't see you, but the thread of history, of connection, it sees you. And that thread, it never forgets.